Siri. You can call me Coach Toyin. Welcome to my daily life shows where I share life and entrepreneurship strategies Monday through Thursday. So today is the last session for the week. And today I have this topic we're covering the power of asking the right questions for success. If this is your first time, thank you. You're welcome. Thank you for being here. I really do appreciate your time because I know you could be somewhere else. I'm sure this time with me will be well worth it for you. I also want to thank those on Clubhouse, my people. I call them my people because we usually have pre-show and after show, side conversations. So and usually this is a conversation, with real human beings. So I also want to hear what's on your mind. So Miss Sherry, welcome. My friend. How are you doing today again? I know you and I were talking already.
Yeah, doing great. Fantastic today. Happy it's Thursday.
Yes. So here's the key. Thinking for us to be successful, we need to be able to think clearly. Okay, so I'm going into today's topic, the power of asking the right questions for success. When we all come into this world, it's like a computer. We're a blank slate. Okay, we all come in not knowing, a new baby, a new mind, fresh out of the oven, right? We come in not knowing who we are really. And here's what then happens is that our operating system, so I'm using an analogy with a computer. When you just buy a new computer, it's like nice looking, nothing on there. Microsoft gives you like, here you go, a nice operating system that's supposed to make your life better. But guess what? Life starts programming us. Nature, nurture, culture. Okay? We start agreeing to certain stories to help us navigate the world. So here's the key. For us to be successful on this journey of life, we need information. We need knowledge, what to do, what not to do, right? And those who nurture us, they're there for us at the very beginning to share with us their own experiences of life, to say, I've lived life. I came here to this world before you. I've gained some knowledge. I've explored the world, and the world that I've explored, these are the knowledge and information and intelligence I've extracted for the world from the world. And here you go, my child. This is my best attempt at the world that I lived in, and this is my gift to you, so that when you start your own journey, you're not starting from zero. So generation to generation, right? Intelligence is passed down. That way, when we show up, we just show up leveraging existing knowledge, right? We then expose ourselves to education. We go to school to acquire more expertise, to acquire skills, so that we can get a job, so that we can have a livelihood, so that we can feed our family. Really, that's how the world works. But here's the key. If we do not disrupt the pattern or interrogate those patterns, that's what questions allow us to do. To interrogate our realities, okay? To explore our beliefs, to check in if what was handed to us and the assumptions we're making in life, if they would actually help us where we want to go. Powerful questions lead to powerful answers. Unfortunately, here's what's against us. The human mind, the human brain does not like to be disrupted. We believe what we believe. We believe we're right all the time. In our consciousness, we are like, it's me, myself, and I. I love this world. I love this world. Like, leave me alone. We believe we know everything that we need to know. That's really how things are. I'm sharing this so that you understand what you have to do to get yourself from where you are to where you need to be as an entrepreneur and also in life. So I'm getting there. Let me take a moment and just get some reactions right now. Miss Sherry, how does that sound? What are you thinking right now with what I shared? Any thoughts, insights?
I
Thank you.
definitely, I definitely agree with the fact that we don't like disruption in our minds. We like to know what we know and think that what we know is right. It's very, very, very hard for us to change our chain of train of thought.
Mhm. And now that we know that, the reason I verbalize and say this out is so that we know the assignment we have, that what got us here, the knowledge, information, stories that got us to this level of success may have to be checked. We may need to check in again. We may need to check in again and say, wow, the person that I am today is a cumulation of the stories I believe. Okay? What I believe, will it actually, is it true? Is it true? Whatever it is, whatever that is, whatever that belief system is it true? And is it the information I need to get myself to where it is I believe I want to go? Right? So, Miss Sherry, like, what's like when you're thinking about your journey of entrepreneurship, where you are right now, in terms of how you got here, what types of thoughts right now do you think you may need to disrupt? What have you believed? If you would allow me, right? If you will allow me to go there with you, because this is why the power of asking the right question will lead us to success. It's like these are the questions we need to ask ourselves, and I'll share some from mine. So, anything coming to mind that you would like to share with us, and then I'll definitely share mine as well.
Yeah, I want to believe that I cannot have to do all of the work.
Okay.
That I can delegate my work and work on my business and not in it so much.
Okay. So
I need to change that up.
So we believe, yes, we all collectively believe entrepreneurship is easy, right? You and I believe that the work required should not be as hard as this. We are made, actually, here's the key. We were made to believe, we are being conditioned to believe that it is easy. And it's the analogy I give of when we see swimmers, Mike Phelps, or what's his name? When we see him swimming, he's like, so, right? He's stroking. It's flawless execution. It's easy to him. And here's the key. It makes us believe, through his flawless execution and his perfection of his craft, when he demonstrates that perfection, it's like a pilot flying a plane. When you board the plane, it's like, welcome on board. I'm your pilot. We're going from here to here. Like, don't worry, relax. I'll get you where we're going. The pilot makes it look easy, right? We go into a doctor. The doctor is like, yeah, how are you? Is your hair aching? This. The doctors that have perfected their craft, in and out, they tell you what, they check you, boom, 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 boom. This is what's prescription done, 5 minutes, you're out. Was it done, right? What took them 5 minutes? What really allowed them to do that job in that easy fashion? When we now show up to the stage, we are naive and unsuspecting, because the world really, another example I'll give, real world. Okay, personal. Having a baby is easy. Okay, I'm laughing. Those who know me know my wicked laughters. That's a wicked laugh. Until you go through it, you will now say, OMG, nobody told me this. Why is that? Is that we're all playing a trick on each other. We know if we actually tell you how difficult entrepreneurship is, you will not go on that journey. That's the trick of the universe, is that when we tell the real story as it is, we are not improving or encouraging other people to jump in. So here is what is offered to entrepreneurs. They just say, fail fast. That's the best thing that people offer. Miss Sherry, go ahead and fail fast. You figure it out. Don't worry. Just go in. Just test it. Just jump on Reels. Just jump on Clubhouse. Just do this. It's funnels. It's click, click, click. You're there. That's the story. That's actually the common narrative. And so many of us, right? We listen to that. We make a lot of assumptions. And even for me, as example, one of the reasons I say passion is not a substitute for expertise. So I write out of my own experiences, is that I believed passion for my work, for living corporate, doing all of those things, that the passion would automatically one day just, people would be like spraying. Hey, Tony, we see you. You know, no, 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 no. Now, what I say is we would engineer our success. Passion will sell. Our passion for the things we do, the people we care about, will lead us to sell. For example, the Entrepreneurial Workbook is something I released this weekend to support those at the Business and Leadership Academy, and the link is above. Is that questions, over 36 questions that every entrepreneur, I believe every entrepreneur should have answers to. I've put it together because those answers we give to those questions will actually unlock strategies. Let me give an example. One of the questions in the workbook asks a question around competition. Can you tell me, really? That's not how I phrased it, but the purpose of that question is, what does your competition or your competition, what do they do better than you? Because we think we are the best thing since sliced bread. That's part of the old world, is that we in our consciousness, we are amazing. Our products are the best of the best of the best. We've not taken it into the market to test it. That's one of the reasons I tell entrepreneurs, you are the architect, you are the engineer, you must test. So all of these things that I release have been tried and tested and proven to be effective. That's why I bundle it and I release it. Okay, that's one question. Let's go practical now. Do we have competition? Do you know your competition? What do they do better than you? I'll give you examples on what can you do better than them. Those are the types of investigative questions that I've packed into that workbook. Because if we can find answers, if we ask the right questions, it will lead us to the right answers. It will disrupt our patterns of believing that we actually know where we're going and how to get there. Earlier on this morning, I was pulled into some conversation, and I realized it's always this conversation about where I am versus where I want to be, and the gap in between, and asking ourselves, do I have the capacity to take myself from here to there? And if I don't, if I ask that question of myself, Tony, do you have the capacity to pull this thing off? Based on the answer, the honest answer that comes back to me should be me giving myself a checklist of what I need to do. Those are the types of questions that lead us right. In reality, you want to build this type of business. Do you have the capacity to pull it off? Let's come back to reality. We keep our head in the cloud, we're dreamers. But when we come back to reality, we need to ask our questions such as, do I have a competition? Why am I not winning in the marketplace? What do I need to do? On and on and on and on and on. Okay? So if you're joining on the live stream as well, feel free to drop a comment, ask a question. I really want this to be interactive. That way I'm not just talking to myself. This is the power of community building as well. Any thoughts, Miss Sherry? And please feel free to come up stage, Fran, Feline, Joseph, Jenny as well. Feel free to just participate in the conversation as well. Miss Sherry, over to you.
I'm loving the conversation. I think that you're onto something with these 30 questions. I think they could be very beneficial because you do have to do some self-reflecting. Owning a business and this journey is not an easy journey. People think you're going to be able to just to come on Clubhouse, start a room, create something beautiful, and that's it. People are going to flock to you, but they don't.
Right.
They don't.
Right.
So I love it. I love this conversation.
Awesome. The 30 plus questions embedded in the entrepreneur's workbook, okay? It's a psychological play or game because I do a lot of workbooks. So for example, the game plan 12 strategies for winning, my leadership and success mindset program, okay? It actually is a program, a 3-hour plus program, but it also has a workbook, an accompanying workbook that for each module, for each strategy. So for example, strategy 1 is, the power of clarity, like activating clarity for ourselves. Can you see clearly? Okay. Corresponding to that module, when you go through that program, is a question. And that question will force you, will force us and disrupt us to actually see ourselves as we are. So for example, corresponding to that question is personal SWOT assessment. So I would first teach the principle in terms of why clarity is important. Then I'll force us to do a mind exercise. So questions allow us to exercise our minds because we need to think clearly, and we need to get out of the emotional stuff of me, myself, and I. We need to actually use our brain for what it is for. Thinking, right? Is that we have the capacity within us, but we are not just pointing it in the right direction. Like when we're extremely emotional, we cannot think clearly. That's why they talk about blind rage and this. Is that when you dig yourself into a hole, to get yourself out, you actually need strategies. We need our mind to create solutions to the problems whatever problem, whatever issues we're having in life. Being able to think clearly is required to actually create solutions. So that psychology is what I use it a lot, and it's extremely transformative. So if I teach you the power of clarity, I'll teach you the principles, I'll tell you why you need it. And then the exercise of saying, okay, now you understand why clarity is important. Let me ask you a series of questions. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are the risks, the opportunities you're seeing in the marketplace? In your attempt to answer those questions, you will think. It will force you to think, and it will take you beyond just surface intelligence. You will sit still. What are my strengths? You will rock your chair, you go back and forth, and one of those questions may take you a week to actually answer. And once you answer it, you're set for life. Now you know. Now you know, because there are answers within us that is so deep in our subconscious, we have to bubble it to the surface. And then there are answers beyond us, we have to make inquiry of other people. Again, there are answers within us. So, for example, in entrepreneurship, when I'm working one on one, you know why you started this journey. When we're trying to work, when I'm helping you design your brand positioning, brand message, that message is inside you, it's not within me. I'm going to ask you a series of questions that will actually force you to bring that answer, to bubble that answer to the surface. Because if we cannot articulate these things, we cannot sell. You cannot convince other people to buy who you are if you cannot explain to the world who we are. So that's the power of the Entrepreneur's Workbook. It's that you will actually take time, right? It's like when it comes to designing like a business plan. What is a business plan? A business plan is actually a series of answers that the bank wants to make sure you know what you're doing. It's a series of answers to a series of questions. What is this business about? You have to write it. How are you going to make money? You have to write it down. What is your projection? You have to write it down. Who is your target? You have to write it down. It's a business plan is your answer to a series of questions that the bank wants to evaluate that you actually know what you're doing. That's the power of asking the right questions. So with the Entrepreneur's Workbook, there are over 30 questions, and we'll continue to write, like push it out there. It will force every entrepreneur to sit still, interrogate themselves, interrogate the world, assess what they're doing, activate strategies for their journey, design a roadmap for themselves, and really secure the capacity to get there. That's how this workbook is designed, right? Because the game plan, it's the same thing. Okay, adopt. So another example, I just love, because I live in the real world and these are things I do privately. So module 2 of the game plan is adopt the mindset of a champion, like a winner, because it's 12 strategies for winning in life and business. So if you want to win, we want to win, and we are saying we're a champion, and there are spiritual biblical principles behind these things, right? And you want to call it off like, I'm going to win. Okay. The questions now, okay. How do champions think? How do they behave? What are they going after? If you get a black eye, are you going to give up? Do champions give up? Miss Sherry, do champions give up? Let me ask you. Okay. So these are the mindset exercises that I actually, walk my clients through. Why? Because once we start confronting ourselves and interrogating ourselves, right, and asking those deep questions, it actually disrupts the pattern, the behavior that led us here. And all of a sudden, we can start exposing ourselves to the answers that will actually help us achieve success. So that's really the power of the Entrepreneur's Workbook. And when we ask the right questions, I have seen it over and over and over again, we will disrupt ourselves. Because, for example, if I ask you, yeah, there are a lot of questions. I think I've shared a few, but let me get some reactions as well. Miss Sherry, any thoughts on that?
No, I think that we need to that no, we're champions and we continue to fight. So we don't give up.
Right,
I was trying to unmute. Yeah, we fight, we fight, we fight.
right. But champions also train. This is where
Yeah.
personal development comes in, is that there are some fights that we're not prepared for. If you go into the ring with Muhammad Ali, you will be knocked out. There's no champion. There's no champion there. Is that, this morning there was a room and a conversation on optimism and realism, and I went there and I explained we need to be optimistic that we can get there, that we can get what we want, that we can achieve success. We need that. We need to activate that. We need to believe in ourselves. We need that self-belief. We need that confidence. Fantastic. Being realistic, realism is, oh, Toyin, this place you said you want to go to, you want to become a doctor. Do you actually have the capacity, right? Have you gone into training to function in that capacity? That's being realistic. Many of us are optimistic. Most of us are not moving over into that world of, let's come down to planet Earth. We want to go to the moon. Fantastic. We want to climb Mount Everest. Amazing. We want to build successful business. Incredible. Okay, let's get back into reality. What do I need to do? Right? What do I need to practice? What knowledge do I need to embody to perform the duties that will help me achieve that result? That gap is what I'm seeing that, many people, including myself initially, we've not been prepared to wrestle with the requirements, right? With the capacity. And capacity could be investment. Bible talked about counting the cost. I want to build a skyscraper, right? Do you have the capacity, financial capacity to pull it off? That's reality. Okay. Now, if you don't have the current capacity, another capacity is, could you invest in growing a network that would then help you to tap into investors? But if we don't ask these questions, right, we are shooting the shots in the dark. And many times people miss it. Is that the question of, what do I need to get from here to there? How do I plan for this journey? Who am I going on this journey with? What type of coach support system do I need? What training should I go to? What events, what conversations should I be participating in that will better prepare me for success on that journey? That's where I see failure. And I'm speaking it clearly, is that that's what I see that's actually leading people to fail the most. Being realistic about what it actually takes, the community that you need to be a part of. I say, if you're an employee and you want to become an entrepreneur, you need to quickly as possible, as possible, go and find new friends of entrepreneurs. Because if you remain in your circle of employee, that mindset will not be disrupted. If you bring, that's why I talk about in my academy, I talked about mindset of an entrepreneur, elevating that from within. Is that the employee mindset, what actually helped you to succeed as an employee, will totally disrupt and destroy a business. For example, as an employee, you are trained to comply within a system, rules, all of those things. As an entrepreneur, who are you complying to? The marketplace. Your job is to disrupt the market. Your full-time job is to make noise every day. As an employee, you're supposed to be quiet, do the job you're being asked to do, perform as other people decide what they need you to do. As an entrepreneur, no, you actually have to tell the market who you are. It's our job to disrupt the market with our opinions, thoughts, patterns, assertions. My ideas deserve a place in the world. My solution solves a problem in the world. I care about the people in the world, and I'm going to make noise to make sure I get their attention and we all live happily ever after. Totally different mindset. But most times when people cross over, they fold their hands and they're like, I can't sell, I can't persuade, you're in the wrong job. Really. So that's also interrogating the reality. And really, one of the solutions, making it really easy for people to disrupt those patterns, is why I launched the Entrepreneurial Workbook. You will sit still. The questions are very, very easy, very, very extremely easy. But hidden beneath answering those questions are priceless gems. They will give you strategies that will help you go from where you are to where you want to be. That's really the beauty of this work. Like when we ask the right questions, it will lead us to unlock and answer, and find the right answers. And when we ask the wrong question sounds like, why me? That's a wrong question. Why me is a wrong. Why is this so hard? Wrong question. Why are nobody buying? It sits in between. Why are nobody buying? Depending on the emotion behind it, it could be the right or wrong question. Let me explain. Why are people not buying? If it comes out of curiosity, like really, why are people not buying? Wow, do they need something else? That is the right question. But why are people not buying? What did I do? Oh, can't they see me? Is it because I'm black? This. That is the wrong question. You see my point? Right question, wrong question, right emotion, wrong emotion, right mindset, wrong mindset. These are the things leading us this way. What I realize, and this is what I offer, is if you create value and the people who need that value know that you exist, they will buy. That's the simple equation of entrepreneurship. Because as humans, we buy what we want, what we like, what we need, right? And these are included in the workbook as well. You will engineer for success, you will engineer around your customers. So there are series of questions also included in the 30 plus questions included in the Entrepreneur's Workbook that would force us to get into the world of our customers, because that's where the cash flow comes from. They are the heart. It will force us to get away from our own internal limiting. Oh, me, what am I doing wrong? Why this? Those are wrong questions. The right question is, what do the people I want to serve? What are their needs? What are their wants? What are their aspirations? Being inquisitive, being investigative, interrogating their reality, assessing their situation, understanding their behavior, assessing what I also call the blind spot, what you can see that is holding them back that they cannot see. All of those are right questions. And those right questions will force us and lead us to create solutions and to create content and to create a business and to create services and products that will do what? Meet the needs. That's the power of the workbook and asking the right questions. Okay, any other thoughts, questions? I see Miss Kemi, good to see you, said interesting topic. Absolutely, absolutely. The power of asking the right questions really is going to help us to arrive at our destination. It's like you're going on a journey. What's the most optimized route? It's the GPS. Should I turn right? Should I turn left? When you are lost, the wrong question is, oh, I'm lost. Saying I'm lost will not find you the right direction. But our ability to take a moment, okay, who is out there that understand how to navigate this new space? And the moment you find that person and say, yes, hello, ma'am, hello, sir, I'm trying to get from point A to point B. Do you know how I can get there? And the person is able to say, turn right, turn left. And if the person gives you an intelligent direction, then you can say, oh, thank you so much. And then you follow it. That's how we get ourselves out of predicaments. But if you are lost, whether on the journey of entrepreneurship, the mindset that created that reality has to be disrupted before we can find the solution. Unfortunately, we just start digging deeper. Why? Pride plays a role. I don't want to tell anybody that I'm failing. I don't want anybody to know that I don't know what I'm doing. That plays a role deeply. That's why the story is that, a lot of men and women, when they're driving, if you give the woman the map and the man is driving, that is chaotic. Because, I mean, I'm generalizing here, right? It's like sometimes people say they don't like asking for questions. Or another thing that is very common is if a new product is shipped in and you are supposed to assemble it, some people will take the manual, spend time to read the manual first, and then apply that intelligence in assembly. Some people will not even bother looking at the manual. They just believe, I know this, I'm smart. Right? You didn't construct. That's what I'm saying. Is that sometimes people will say, let me read the book. The person who created this car, if you have a new BMW, some people just go start the car and start driving. If it breaks down, they're like, oh, what did I do wrong? Some will spend more time reading the manual. And when I say that I teach entrepreneurship, is because there's actually a collective knowledge around succeeding as an entrepreneur. And I teach at business schools as well, and at the Business and Leadership Academy, is because there is a cumulative knowledge. If you want to study, if you want to become an entrepreneur, study. You're not the first entrepreneur. We're not the first to build a business. We should be asking the question, what did those people do to achieve success? That's a simple question. And if you ask that question, it will lead us to do deep research. And out of that research, guess what will happen? Solutions will bubble to the surface. But when we don't ask that question, we say, oh, they did it, I can do it too. If Bill Gates did it, then I can do it too. Did you go to the school Bill Gates went to? Do you have the family relationship to investors that he does? You see my point? So we need to start humbling ourselves. Questions make us a student. Oftentimes, we don't want to be a student. Students ask questions. Why? Because we are pursuing mastery. Mastery would help us to perform with excellence and would help us to be successful. But because we don't want to become a student, we want to become a master, and so we're not asking questions, we're not asking the right questions, we're making tons of assumptions that we already embody everything that we need. And guess what? Failure is the outcome when we don't know what we're doing, or when what we are doing has never been done. But if what we are doing has been done, the wisest thing is to follow in the footsteps of those who have paved the way. That's the purpose of the roadmap. In fact, that's why I also developed the roadmap for business growth and success. I make it visual. I say to entrepreneurs at the academy, we're on a journey. This journey, even though people make you believe that it's overnight, it's not overnight. Okay, so setting the expectation up front. If I'm going to take you up to Kilimanjaro, I'm not going to tell you, I don't want to lead you astray. I don't want you to give up halfway in. But we will engineer for success. We will attain mastery, not just basic understanding of, oh, I know branding, right? Basic knowledge will not help you be successful. Do we know that? Oh, I can go to webmd.com and learn symptoms. Basic knowledge. Does that mean you are now a master medical practitioner? No. Basic knowledge of all these things on the surface doesn't lead to the ultimate success most of us want. We actually have to take time to dig deeper. So anyway, that's what I wanted to just share today, is the power of asking the right questions for success. We must interrogate reality. We must disrupt our own thought patterns, because what got us here, the stories that we believe that got us here, we may need to disrupt it. We may need to develop. This is power of self-development. We may need to develop ourselves and invest in ourselves, new knowledge, new expertise, new skills, new network that will help us attain the capacity we need to get there. One thing I always say with the power of education, right? Because question is what leads us to educate ourselves. When we open ourselves up and we ask questions, it means we are seeking answers, right? When we close our minds that we don't need anything, then we're not going to ask any question. Why? We are full. We are full of our own self-intelligence. Those people who understand that what they are full of is not enough to get them there, you open yourself and you ask questions. You get really, really better at asking questions. You will get clear. And The other thing that unfortunately most people wrestle with is they believe sometimes that asking questions may mean that if they're not vulnerable, it's like people would think you don't know what you're doing. I disagree. I disagree. Absolutely disagree. If you ask the right question, in fact, you'll be amazed to know that when you ask the right question, everybody around you will thank you because they also did not have the answer. That's what I found, is that you are actually rescuing everybody. Everybody around you is playing a game. Everybody on Clubhouse is saying we are the best thing since sliced bread. Everybody is trying to project I'm the best thing, I'm the best thing. And the person in the room that actually asks this intelligent question really saves people and sets people free. Vulnerability sets us free to be human. And there's no perfectionism in being human. Nobody is perfect. All we're trying to do is offer ourselves, the best version of ourselves, to the world and support another person on that journey. That's what this is about for me, is that if I solve an equation, and by the way, I do have a BSc in mathematics, an MSc in computer science, information systems, certified SAP consultant, I'm a solution provider. If I solve an equation, it is good. My heart says I must share it, and I will be rewarded for sharing and educating and helping other people, because what allowed me to solve this question is the accumulation of my expertise and experience. Other people that do not see the world as I do, or haven't gone through my own world or reality, or interrogated or done the deep research I have, may not have the answer. So entrepreneurship is about finding answers and offering those answers, creating products and offering it to those who need it at a price, because the journey of creating the product and the services is not free. It costs heavily. It costs heavily. And that's how I teach my entrepreneurs as well. Is that sales and persuasion has to do with persuading people in the direction of what they need for their journey. The moment you can envelope and wrap our minds around that, selling becomes easier, because what are we doing? We're offering people solutions. And if they don't want the solution, who loses at the end of the day? We just look for the next person. It's for me, I try to make this very, very easy for myself. If a solution is offered that will support you at a discounted rate on your journey, and you decide to say, no, I'm fine, for everybody that says no, maybe 2 or 3 people will say yes. I don't know. I don't know what that percentage is, but that's really the journey of an entrepreneur. Is we are solution providers at the end of the day. And the work and the journey to actually creating the solutions that we're creating, the product, it requires heavy investment, time commitment, energy, resources, all of those things. And that's what we reward one another for. You want banana, you didn't plant the banana, you didn't water it, you didn't fertilize it, but you want it. Then we go into a Walmart store, we get it, we give them $3.99. Thank you, Walmart. You want something from Amazon, you go to Amazon.com, you search for it, you find it, you say ship it to me, and you bring your card and say, thank you, Amazon. Thank you so much. I needed that. And that's really another way. Those are the principles that I share to make sales and persuasion very easy for those who really don't feel comfortable with the traditional methods of badgering, stimulating urgency, buy now, buy now, buy now. If you don't buy, you'll be knocked off the road. All those tactics, they work. But in today's world, people have seen enough. They're like, no, you lie, you're lying. I will take my time and I'll make the right decisions for myself. And that's why I also say that when we interrogate human behavior and we understand psychology, we can really empathize with people, what people are going through now. And we can say, you know what it is you're trying to do. I see it, I understand it. I'm on your side. I really am on your side. What you're trying to do may take you the next 5 years. But with my academy, my product, my this, we'll shorten that distance and you arrive at your destination faster. Who doesn't want that? I can sell that. That I can sell. And it has been proven. And I have people that can say yes, yes, yes. So that's an easier way and a more meaningful way to really, when we interrogate reality and we seek to understand the people we want to serve, and we ask the right questions will lead us to creating the right solutions. We'll find the right answer. And also, as we find the right answer for ourselves, that's the same answer we can offer the world. The people that didn't do the research, We can now say, hey, by the way, I can help you because I've helped myself. That's another reality when it comes to entrepreneurship. So that's going to be a wrap for today. I'll be on Instagram with Pastor Cornelius in a moment, for the game plan 12 strategies for winning. Over the past couple of weeks, I've been going down the modules, 12 strategies for winning in life and business. And I think today we're going to module 8 or something like that. So you can also watch the replay on my Instagram, IGTV, right? So thank you so much. I'm going to be hosting an after show on Clubhouse, but now I'm going to wrap up the conversation here. And I do invite you to check out nazaru.academy. That's where the Business and Leadership Academy, where I teach and bring resources every single week. And also the newly released The Entrepreneur's Workbook. You can check that out and download at toyinumesiri.com/workbook. Okay, this is for those that are non-members. My members at the academy already have access to this. In fact, I'll be holding a series of workshops to go through this workbook with them to help them unlock the strategies. But for non-members, this is a quick download, a quick purchase that you can make and start doing that work. Over 30 questions really to unlock your business growth and success. Thank you everyone so much on the live stream. I'll see you around. See you again next week. This is the last series for the week. I'll see you next week. Thank you so much.